right. I think. We should be live in about 1 second. Oh, we are live. Okay. So, what's up, everybody? It's your boy KJ here with the legendary alt-season legends, Mr. Stillman and Cryptomessiah. What is up? Just sending the link out to Twitter, get some people in the room, and we'll get started. But, yeah, not financial advice. But you should
never is.
You should.
It's financial advice if you make money, and it's not if you lose money.
You should pay attention to what's being shared in this stream, because these two guys are my personal favorites when it comes to the altcoin game. Definitely two different flavors, but they'll get you to the same place, and really admire what they've been able to accomplish thus far this year. So let me tweet this link out. Sorry, you know me with my tech. It's always a challenge. Always something. So, maybe this isn't live. I feel like it is, but maybe it's not. Why is this? No, we're definitely live. We're live. Yo! No, we're live. We're live. I just need to share this link. Here we go. For whatever reason, when I pulled it up on maybe it's not. Oh no, now it's live. I need to refresh. So since our last stream, I'm seeing a lot more of those GAN fans out.
Yeah, they've gone kind of viral. Hey, wait, have you tweeted this shit out yet? Because I'm looking at your Twitter. Okay. Come on, bro, I'm getting FOMO.
The GAN fans are good.
Yeah. They're good. They're good. They're good when they work, and they're not good when they don't. But
no, absolutely.
When they work really well.
I mean, especially like for price discovery, which happens pretty frequently right now, your options are limited to give you some orientations, right? Some orientation. So you basically have like fibs and that. I can't really think of anything else.
It's crazy how often like you look at something like fibs, and they align with GAN levels.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And sometimes you can even use it to like time moves and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Here we go. Finally. Fuck. Got this shit out.
All right. Come on. Meanwhile, Messiah had us waiting for like an hour and a half. And
yeah.
And he got to eat dinner and shower, and I'm just sitting here drinking without dinner. So don't mind me, guys. But I may or may not be in rare form tonight. Not for nothing. It's like with crypto, obviously, it's crazy shit going on. Stock market is on.
Hey, KJ, I think you're echoing, bro.
Somebody always says that. I think they do that to troll me.
No, you actually are.
No, I am echoing.
Right. Are you streaming with OBS or what?
Yeah, always OBS. I think it's probably because I don't have my headphones in.
Yeah.
So let's try that. Let's see. Hello?
Jake, there was no echo.
Yeah, you're good, bro.
This should work.
Jake, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, there was no echo.
You're good.
I told you, there's never an echo. It's always the guy that are controlling me. And now, see, I have very large ears, so I have like an expiration limit on a stream when I have these. When I have these on, they bother my jaw. Not for nothing. True story. My jaw. You want to hear something? So if I
the stream's black for me now. Is it black for you guys in chat?
Oh
It's
yeah,
black,
it is.
black
It
for me
is.
too.
Walls. Whatever you did, just
Why?
undo it.
Echo
Why?
sabotage successful.
Why? Why? It's always something.
It was my plan the whole time.
Yeah, the Echo guy got us. He did.
Messiah was the echo guy.
Yeah. Hold on.
This was internal sabotage, guys. Sorry.
Dude, this is the worst. All right.
Look, we're gonna get an apes one picture.
All right. Let's see. So.
Oh my God! Everybody's leaving the stream.
Fuck 'em. Hold on.
Black screen still better than credit card info.
Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was crazy. All right.
Wait, did you do that one time?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. During the first interview I ever did on YouTube, I exposed like the meeting information, so everybody that saw that could like enter the meeting. I didn't have a lock on it. I was using this other
Oh
software
no!
called the Peer In that Box Mining recommended to me, but I didn't realize you had to buy the premium version to lock the room. So I'm interviewing this CEO of Cash, and people just start randomly joining the stream, and they're like, "Oh, BitConnect," and like doing all this shit, and I'm like, "Fuck!" Like click, kick, and I'm kicking them out, and the guy Mike's like, "Are these your friends?" And I'm like, "No, they're definitely
Yeah, I don't
not
know
my
these
friends."
guys.
And I'm just waiting for a guy to show up with his cock out, of course.
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting so nervous. It was my first interview. And I go, all right, guys, I'm just going to pause the stream. I'm going to buy the premium version and we'll be ready to go. So I paused like my own YouTube stream, like in YouTube, but I was still live. So here I am, like entering my credit card info, my name, my address. Like,
No.
yeah, my phone is blowing up.
Dude, what a nightmare.
Oh my God. It was I can laugh at it now. I had to cut the whole stream. The stream ended, call my bank, cancel my credit card, all that shit.
That's
So,
terrible, bro.
Yeah,
So
but it's funny.
I've got a question for the audience. So I've been told that when I drink from my big water bottle, that it sounds like diarrhea.
Do
So
it.
I was curious. I wanted to do this live, and I wanted to get audience feedback to see if there's any merit to that. So here we go. I'm thirsty anyway, so we might as well. Did that sound like diarrhea?
It has some ceramic toilet aesthetic to it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like, that like the echo or something like that. I mean, any kind of diarrhea I've ever had is just, it sounds like, when you take a high pressure hose and squirt it into a pool. It's making like bubbles and shit like that. So I don't really know I don't know what kind of diarrhea you guys have, but.
Nah. I mean, what are we talking about now?
My diarrhea is typically explosive.
That's the stuff you gotta sit through until you see any charts.
Right?
Oh, man. Yeah, you're gonna have to hear. You don't want to hear me start talking about fecal matter.
Oh
Like,
God, we got any degens in the house tonight? Yeah,
I can talk about this topic for a while.
Oh, I could too. Farts were the original joke, dude. I mean, the first time a human ever laughed. Think about it. They're all sitting around a campfire. Somebody farted, and all the cavemen were like, "Oh!" It was honestly like a pivotal moment in human evolution. So don't sleep on farts, guys.
Farts fart jokes. You can't beat them. You literally can't.
It's the original joke.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, are we ready to get into it? Is that enough, or should we talk more shit? Literally.
What you guys want?
I think we're ready.
Okay,
So, Stillman was the guy who turned me on to UniSwap earlier in the year, and he basically made a case for believing in DeFi and kind of altcoins again. And at that point, I was charting, I was trading, but like the notion that people would actually believe and this whole new group of people would come in that were just as excited as we were in 2017 and bull runs past, I was very skeptical. But Stillman really he had a lot of conviction, and I remember him kind of like the TA matched the FA, And I was kind of ignoring the FA, but when it comes to DeFi and Uniswap, he was like, "Oh, this is it, man! Like it's happening here." And I started to compare and think about like, hey, this reminds me of kind of like Ether Delta back in 17, where you have this platform or environment where it's a little clunky. It's not like back then it was Poloniex, I guess, was like the easy exchange to use, or Bittrex. I think Bittrex was my favorite. And like I was like, all right, I'm comfortable with Bittrex and Polo, but Ether Delta, this seems a little tricky to me. And I kind of sat out for a little bit and didn't participate because I was, frankly being lazy, too lazy to learn how to use it. And I watched my friends do like 10 X's in like a matter of days. And then now it's like you kind of fast forward to 2020 and Uniswap has a similar vibe to it. The people that are trading on Binance and Coinbase might be intimidated by it, but when I saw what was going on, I was very strong about like, hey, like you guys need to learn how to use this thing. And that was because Stillman really convinced me. It wasn't something that I came to my own conclusion, but once he put it on my map, I kind of saw what was going on. And I was like, yeah, like this is it. So obviously you've adopted that I think you're probably the top guy when it comes to Uniswap, in my opinion, Messiah. And Stillman obviously is a ledge in his own right. But I guess the first question I want to ask both of you is it over? Do you think that now it's late to get on there? I mean, because the performance, obviously we've seen some coins are still going to do well, but if you're somebody new, do you think it's worth learning how to use it at this point, or is it just a place where you're going to get dumped on and exploited now that more people know about it and it seems to be more of a household name within the crypto community? And I have my own thoughts on this too, but I want to hear.
Sure.
Let's go with Messiah first.
It's absolutely not too late, but that doesn't mean that Uniswap is for everybody. And that's what I want to stress. Like the guys that are really successful in Uniswap are doing their homework. They're learning about automated market maker protocols. Learning about how they work. They're learning about Ethereum gas and how it works. There's a lot of times on Uniswap, I've heard people say they can't get their order through, or, oh my God, I can't sell this coin, or, holy shit, I got slipped so hard on that order. There's a lot of ways to lose on Uniswap. And I think I want to start with that. But if you want to put in the time, and when I say put in the time, that doesn't mean fucking jacking off and following somebody around on Twitter. Like if you want to put in the time to actually learn how it works, learn about the technology, so you can use the technology. You don't want the technology to use you. It's definitely not too late. And I think there's still a lot of people that haven't used Uniswap yet. But the beauty of Uniswap, and why I think that everybody that wants to put in the time should learn how to use it, is that it's bringing me back to like 2014 vibes. Because in 2014,
big time, I was thinking about that too.
Yeah, it was great times. The coins weren't so fucking serious. In 2017, everybody had to be so fucking serious. That's when the suits came in, right? But in 2014, crypto was just fun, right? I mean, you could literally, every coin was a meme in its own regard. And we're seeing a lot of that happen right now. But the biggest difference between 2014 and 2017, or especially even now, was that all these coins in centralized exchanges now, there's so many barriers to entry. There's friction. To get on Binance, you can't be US. You gotta, KYC if you want to withdraw shit per day. There's all these stipulations, and those stipulations exist on Huobi, Binance. No matter where you are, there's friction. There's barriers to entry. Then you've got Uniswap, which is an unstoppable protocol. And when I mean unstoppable, I mean these smart contracts are deployed. They're not going anywhere. Any government can seize Uniswap tomorrow, the web page. And somebody can throw up, the code's open source. You saw Mooniswap, which has their own smart contract, their own automated market making protocol, but they forked the Uniswap front end in a matter of days. That code is public. So all it takes is another dev to just throw that shit right back up, and we're rocking and rolling again in a day.
You can't stop it. Yeah.
You can't stop it. And even then, there's smart guys, there's devs that can still use fucking Uniswap without that front end. So if the front end gets seized, the front end's just a way to interact with these smart
Yeah,
contracts.
you can execute the contracts. Right. Yeah.
You can execute these contracts. These are unstoppable protocols. And the innovation here is that, once again, we have crypto to where there's no barrier to entry aside from your knowledge of how to use the tools. Like the only thing it takes to get involved is a MetaMask wallet, is an Ethereum wallet. And that's it. There's no closed doors. There's no friction. You just get in and get balls deep. And to be honest, like after using Uniswap as much as I have now, I much prefer the automated market maker exchange experience to the centralized exchange experience. Of course, there's not order books. There's not this, there's not that, but there's a lot of things that just make it intuitive, that make it easy. As you enter these markets, you're contributing to the liquidity pool. And, as the price moves up, the liquidity grows and with the price and follows the price. Honestly, like this isn't going anywhere. And we saw on Twitter yesterday, and I hate it when people say everyone was bearish, right? Because that's such a, like it just depends on who's in your echo chamber, right? But on Twitter yesterday, there was definitely like fear in the air.
Oh yeah.
And in my private Telegram groups, there is fear in you. And we're talking, guys that have been around for a while. And, when you see that, that shows to me that we're still early in the market cycle because people don't feel invincible yet. People are still scared that this is all going to go away tomorrow. That bear market really, really left scars on everybody. So I really think that, in every leg of the market cycle, there's a microcycle, and that microcycle has the same characteristics as the grand market cycle. And I really think that yesterday, we saw a lot of panic. We saw some capitulation. We saw people afraid. But today, we have shit popping off again, and it's like it never happened. Not everybody's bags are popping off, but there's bags that are popping again, and bags that soaked yesterday up. So it's just a matter of perspective. And, if you're going to be in crypto, you got to go 100% or not at all. If you're not going to put in the work, just fucking hold Bitcoin, hold Ethereum.
Hey, I agree with that. Definitely got to put in the work. And, when it comes to yesterday, people were fucking quiet. Like, it was quiet. Not just, you'll notice when it satisfies that everybody's bearish kind of atmosphere, it's like you don't have to just look on Twitter. You can look in your Telegram group. You can look in your Discord group. You can, you can look around you. And the more you're able to kind of identify that feeling of sentiment, you can use that. So clearly I'm on the same page with you yesterday. You can kind of feel it. And I think ultimately you're right. I don't think this is the top. I think Bitcoin probably will make more highs this year. And that being said, I mean, from a TA perspective, this doesn't have to just bounce right now. This can kind of do its thing and do like a little bit of this and shake some people out and get people excited and scared and excited and scared for however long it needs to be. But as long as Bitcoin is not making a hyper volatile move, it's still a good atmosphere to play alts. And like you said, some of the bags that were down yesterday, bounce back strongly today. Something like Polkadot, for instance, is just bullish looking, and it doesn't matter what BTC does at the moment until that's no longer bullish looking. But before we move on, because I can fucking just go on to a tangent here, I'd like to get Stillman's answer on Uniswap as well. Sorry.
Yeah, like Messiah already covered a lot of ground there. One thing I would like to stress is that a reason to familiarize yourself with these protocols, be it Uniswap or like kind of a clone like Mooniswap or Balancer and Curve, is that, in my opinion, these protocols are now and are going to be in the future forces in the market. And even if you trade other stuff, you need to understand what is happening there to factor that in. Obviously, if you're like, purely TA-based trader, your TA is great, you can succeed, but you can definitely get points of confluence by understanding what is happening in DeFi. At least it helped me over the past months. Also in like gauging what Ethereum would be doing, and also Bitcoin, since that was getting pulled up by Ethereum for a long while, and understanding what is happening in DeFi, what's trending there. Like for a while, it was very, very stablecoin dominated, for example. So that is an important point of data for your trading, right? That's like money that is farming yield, but that is not participating in the ups and downs of Bitcoin and Ethereum at the time, for example. So that's money that is pretty well hedged against market movements, but that could also FOMO in and add like extra volatility, extra power to up moves, if that gets very, very attractive, right? So yeah, definitely that's one reason why anybody in this market should take a look at these protocols, use them a little, even if they're not like super comfortable in trading that style, in my opinion.
Yeah, good stuff. So, dude, like, this guy Evans says this audio, man. So apparently the audio is bad. I don't know. Is it bad, guys? Like, I swear, like it why doesn't it work? I don't get it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But it really makes, like, this is probably the main obstacle to me.
Are you using OBS?
Yeah, I'm using. Yeah.
You need to turn your microphone on.
Turn it off.
Turn it up.
There's separate slider for that audio.
No, it is.
Right?
But no. So it makes me like quite literally, it makes me not want to do this.
And now everybody says audio is good.
Yeah,
audio.
They say it's great, but it's like every single. I think it's a troll that shows up. He's like, "Oh, the fucking sound! I can't hear this guy," and then like, it just completely derails the conversation. And I just wish it was fine.
Let's get back on track.
No, it pisses me off. It does. No, I'm serious. It makes me not want to do it.
It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. We're good. We're good. We're good.
All right, so the audio is fine.
Ooh,
I could shut this thing down right now. Go
so yeah, and one point that I liked a lot from Messiah's answer was this this element of fun to the market right now. I wasn't around in 2014, but I was comparing what is happening right now to like the 2015 2016 phase of like it's very early bull market uptrend. And it definitely feels like that. It doesn't feel like 2017 currently, like both in terms of market participants and of the stuff that's trading. Another element is like the raises that are being done, they're way less greedy. Although currently I'm seeing kind of a shift there. I'm feeling like we might be leaving that phase of the market. I'm curious what you guys think about that. But I saw a couple of projects that are starting to raise like more greedily.
Yeah,
like more around the numbers that we saw in 2017.
Dude, like the fact that ICOs are like coming back now like really shocked me. I could admit that I did not expect that at all. And,
it's different now, because back in the day, and here's one of the things I really like about this new paradigm. Back in the day, and when I say back in the day, I'm talking back in the ICO day, right? And ICOs have been going on since fucking 2013. The Bitcoin maximalists don't like saying shit like that, but they've been going on for fucking ever. Ethereum didn't invent the ICO. They just made it easy. And the thing is in 2017, I could buy, put a lot of money into an ICO, and then you just fucking pray that this shit's going to hit Binance. You pray that when it does, it's going to pump, that there's going to be liquidity for you to exit. And now, like, part of these, a lot of people are calling them initial liquidity offerings. Part of these offerings are going straight towards the liquidity of the protocol, which is really enabling like these markets to move. And it doesn't, we're looking at markets right now that are fucking, like Ken is something I'm in right now. Yesterday it was a $3.5 million cap with fucking 800 Ethereum of liquidity in the pool. Like that's insane, because in the past you're looking at these micro caps and, you'd be lucky if there's fucking one Bitcoin on the bit. So, I mean, this literally is a new paradigm because the difference between a market like that and a market like, it's fucking $50 million cap Binance project is that, retail traders can come in and they can move these markets that are low cap, and there's liquidity.
That was always a thing, though. No, when could retail traders have not moved?
I think the big difference is that bigger players can get in too. Like usually, the bigger players need to either be on a seed round or they need to wait to higher prices and more liquidity comes in, and that's like the big difference right now, right?
No, that's a good. I'm glad you bring that up because, truth be told, I mean, Messiah, like since Tendies became like a meme and pumped, and there was a couple others, but definitely, I can tell that you have the juice, meaning if you tweet about something small, you have followers who are going to blindly buy, right? And not everybody understands what that's like because not everybody has been in that position before.
Sure.
I'm somebody that has, and I know what that's like, and it's like it's a tough spot to be in, but like how do you manage that, knowing, it's like with great shilling comes great responsibility.
Yes, and 100%.
How do you manage it, and like how do you feel right now?
Well, I'll say I still haven't been rug pulled one time, and I've entered and exited a lot of markets. I still haven't been scammed one time, and there's a reason for that. Part of it's luck, yeah, because in the environment we're in, it's inevitable that at some point in time, like my day is probably coming. But I do a lot of research on these things. I'll speak at length with the dev team. I'm a developer. If they're full of shit, I'm going to know it pretty quickly. I don't buy anything that doesn't have locked liquidity. And I understand that there's, oh, nice, you upgraded the meeting, bro. Look at you. And I understand that, like there's other ways to be scammed aside from a rug pull. Like, they can call them in function and fucking dump the market to zero, or, they can dump their dev coins. But when I invest in something, I see people getting rug pulled all the time, buying rug pulled DAO and shit like that. I mean, what the fuck did you expect? Like, that's ridiculous. But anything I buy, one, I am going to take a significant position in that market. I'm going to make a splash in that market. And two, I'm going to have my homework done because there's a lot of responsibility that comes here. And while I can say all day, hey, do not do what I do because, I'm putting these out here for attention. If you follow me blindly, I promise you that maybe one time you're going to come in. And because I actually had a guy that, I tweeted about Flow when Flow was at 10 cents. I bought it at 10 cents. And it went 3x within the next, I think, 12 hours. And I fucking took my money out and I ran. And there was a dude that came in and bought it at 30 cents. He saw the tweet 6 hours later. I mean, what the fuck do you expect? Right. You don't just see a fucking tweet and just FOMO into something. Like, it's not always going to be like that. The irony is that guy came in the trading pit, bitched me the fuck out because it had gone back to 15 cents. And then it went to $2 like 3 days later, So like, if
that's
you
the
just,
best when that happens.
I mean, you could have had a better entry, bro. But if you had just not been a bitch ass, he said he was mad because he bought and took a nap and then woke up and he was drawn down. Like, but if you had just not been a fucking idiot about it, like you would have made a lot of money.
At the end of the day, he had a great entry. But
he did.
And that's like typical for people that follow others around, right? Like they won't have any conviction in that thing that they get in. So the slightest turbulence, they're going to panic.
And I'm sure both of you
don't know what they're in.
How many times has somebody asked you, because when I buy something, like I said, I've never fucking taken money to shill a project. I've never talked about something that I've been given. Anything I bought, I've done assessment and I put my money where my mouth is.
It's the old-fashioned way.
If I fucking talk about something, it's because I've invested in it. period. And, you know, I've had people ask me literally every day, like when I just fucking bought something, you know, that's like a $2 million cap and has great fundamentals and it's, you know, hyper liquid. It'll go down 10%. And then 10 people ask me the next day, hey, are you still in this? Are you still in this? And I'm like, yeah, like what the fuck, like, why wouldn't I be?
Yeah.
You know, is there something
that
I need
shit
to,
happens all the time.
yeah, is there something I need to know about? You know, like you're kind of freaking me out. Like, you know, I need to go check their Telegram channel. Is there something going on?
Master Crypto.
Yeah. But, you know, it's...
Shots fired.
I mean, he's right. There's a lot of responsibility that, you know, that comes with this. And, you know, that's why, like, I know, like, the ape meme is hilarious and everything like that. The ape meme does not mean, like, if I buy something that you should buy something. Because here's the thing. When I'm buying something, you got to understand that I'm only entering typically with, like, 5% of my capital. Okay. You know, I'm buying enough to where I can make a splash in the market, you know, which increases my odds anyway. I have built-in risk tolerance through sizing. I know when to get out. I know when the momentum's going to stop. And you know what? Like maybe you know my wallet or something, and you're following me exactly, and you know exactly when I sell, or you know blah blah blah. But you're not me, and you're not going to do exactly what I would do always. And I don't always win. I just fucking sold Plutus DeFi for I lost 50% of my position on that. I sold Geek for like negative 40%.
I'm sure you didn't blame anybody though.
No, it was my fault. But here's the thing, guys. I mean, a lot of times these guys will FOMO in and follow you with their whole stack. And
yes.
You know what happens is, you know, maybe that works for you really great that one time. And then it works for you really great the next time. But then the next time Messiah talks about Plutus DeFi and you fucking buy in and now you're wrecked and you're like, well, fuck you, dude. And I'm like, what did you say? Like, dude, that hurt me too, but it wasn't
that's like just building a bad habit and you're getting rewarded for it the first 2 times.
Right.
And then it destroys you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always that way because the 3 that hit, like, those will be the ones that nobody played. And then the 4th one, all of a sudden, everybody that missed the first 3 are going to go into that 4th one, and it's not going to work. And
you guys, you know, I mean, even the best fucking guys aren't going to win every time. Like
nobody wins every time.
And you guys need to understand, like with Plutus, I fucking hammered that market. Like I did everything I could. You know, I overexposed myself to that position just to fucking prop that shit up and help it go.
You never want to prop up the market. Right?
And it's still, well, you know, you can be the market sometimes, but still, like, you know, like I still got butt fucked by that, like pretty hard. And, you know, I did everything I fucking could, but sometimes you just take an L. Like, it's just,
it is what it is. Yeah, that's the best is like when you take an L and then like people are mad at you too. Like that's some 2018 shit that I you know, we've all dealt with that. But
it's like, of course, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, you know, everybody loves you. Everybody loves you when you're fucking winning, and then you know you lose, and people are like, "Go, you know, fuck you, dude." And you're like, dude.
Like I just lost. Like this guy lost like $200. It's like, dude, like I just lost like 200K. Like shut the fuck up. Like
yeah, I lost money on fucking a unit protocol too. You know, fuck that shit. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. And when I dumped, I had to eat massive slippage to even get out. The market went down like 50%. So I ate shit on that.
Yeah, I think
unit protocol was that the one with the graph ticker?
No, that's the Unigraph is still going really well.
Unigraph, that's the one.
I'm talking about Unit Protocol was the one with the like little pink duck. Or
I think I missed that one.
People still bring up cash. It's like, okay, like at the end of the day, like if you look at like my feed or whatever, you know, like I would like to say that the majority of there's a very high hit rate in what I discuss, and I've actually avoided lower cap stuff, mainly the stuff that I talk about on Twitter. Not that I don't play them, but I don't talk about them on Twitter just for my own reasons because I had some bad experiences with that. I don't want to do it, but I don't, you know, it's part of the game. It is what it is. And
everybody has their stains, you know.
Yeah,
my biggest L is like I invested way too much money because I've never buy ICOs or pre-sales. That's like one of my things because if you buy an ICO or a pre-sale, like you're at their mercy. There might be additional upside, and but that to me is a lot more like akin to like straight up gambling than you know buying like a really solid fundamental play with locked liquidity and you know an established market.
My point is somebody will follow you, and I was watching, and it was like one after the next was doing like 5x, 10x, you know, crazy numbers. And people that missed the ones in the beginning, because by virtue of how the market works, the ones that were really successful in the beginning before it caught on, less people were participating. So what happens is the greater share of the market, now more people are paying attention. Now the potential, you know, for success becomes diminished. So what happens is people see it and they're like, I'm going to go all in, and then they fucking get wrecked. But what they need to realize is overall, like, you watch what somebody is doing and what they're talking about, and if they have a very high hit rate, like, you might not win this one, but the next one that they call out might be good. You know, the one after that might be good. But if you go all in on each coin, like, all you have to do is lose once. And I know there are people that like to throw shit in people's face when they're wrong, and like that's like a business in itself, waiting for someone to be wrong and then saying, look, this guy's wrong and listen to me. I know some people
easiest way to spot somebody that's not making any fucking money.
Yeah, is waiting for somebody to be wrong and then trying to use that to you know, make themselves bigger. That's a strategy that I've seen employed successfully, and I think it's
Crypto junkie.
I'm not going to name any names, but you know,
there's several of them. You know, hey,
typically those people don't actually make any calls themselves. You know,
No.
they just kind of say cryptic things, and then no matter what happens, then they say, "Hey, look, I told you this was going to happen," because
post the ambiguous chart. Hey guys, it's time to watch this market.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it fucking goes up. And
Time to
like,
pay attention.
Yeah,
I told you.
I know some people like that. But you know, when it comes,
I think I did that. I did that too once or twice. I bet. I bet.
I
wouldn't exclude myself from that.
But you know, enough of that. We're about it. We're 35 minutes in. I think people want to see some coins. They want to see some coins.
Just one thing about pre-sales, because Messiah said how he would avoid that, and I could see it. I think there's a like a timing, like in addition to the FA you do on a project that you can do like on a pre-sale, and means might vary, like on what kind of an FA you can do on that. Like if you can talk to the devs, or if you can, you know, have some closer info, or if you just some outside viewer trying to look in, there's like a big difference there. But in terms of timing, there was definitely a timing in this market where just any pre-sale 10x at least, right? Like especially the ones that went to BitMax, they had their market making on point, and they really wanted to make a splash and make some impression for this season, I think. And there was a timing to that, and in addition to that FA you're doing, you got to watch that money flow basically, and you need to see when that market gets more tired, when, as I mentioned before, the raises get more greedy, and all that money that's going around just trying to compound, when that gets spread too thin. And that's when it gets very, very dangerous, like especially when the market, even like in microcycles, when the market is more in a money outflow trend, then it gets very dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I know all of us have like slightly different outlooks, and I remember before Bitcoin broke out, Messiah and I were kind of discussing, you know, what happens if Bitcoin goes to 12K, and like what does that look like, and what are you going to do versus what the next guy is going to do. And you know, both of our outlooks, like at the end of the day, it worked, because Messiah is spending a lot of time on Uniswap, and a lot of those like lower cap kind of coins, those can tend to be, no pun intended, independent of what Bitcoin is doing. Like
Sure.
There are a lot of times where I feel safer in like some low cap shitcoin, like if Bitcoin pumps. So like if Bitcoin throws up like $1,000 candle, I don't want to be in EOS. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
there's going to be like mega whales and EOS, and they're going to be like, well, Bitcoin's going to go up, so I'm going to, you know,
yeah,
they're going to
smart their
money.
Bots are going to just sell, and that's going to trigger more selling, and you know, you're going to take a drawdown. But if you're hanging with a bunch of apes in some Uniswap coin, and
they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck. And
that's something I noticed in my portfolio too. Like like I was almost exclusively in like super obscure shit, and when Bitcoin pumped, they just pumped with it.
Yeah.
You know, or like they did like whatever they would have done on that day. So that's
I mean, truth be told, it's a bunch of people that are very tuned into the market in Telegram groups and Discord groups that like one guy will be like in one group will be like SXP is the shit. Like check this out, and then like it's kind of like a chain reaction where someone will be watching the chat and they'll see it and they'll be like, all right, let me do research on this, and then that guy will go into a different group and be like SXP, and then this guy will go onto a Facebook group, and then this one will make a Reddit post, and before you know it, it's like it doesn't take that much liquidity for these things to pump, and then Messiah tweets about it, and it's and now it goes up, like like that's kind of how the game works. And I can completely agree, because we were kind of reminiscing about how it used to be, and I remember before I even had a Twitter or a YouTube, and I first got in, I was playing like low cap shit on Cryptopia, RIP, and like these masternode coins that were like a few 100,000 market cap, and then I would go on to like different groups and be, like shill the shit out of the coin and be like, hey, this coin's gonna pump and blah blah blah, and like the next thing I know, the coin starts to go up, and I'm like, holy shit, like I'm making a difference, I'm pumping this coin, and meanwhile I have no audience, I'm just like going from room to room, like spreading the word, and like before I know it, I see other people in rooms like talking about the coins. That's like the fun part about crypto, like for real. So
I don't know if you guys have ever hung out in the trading pit, but it's literally just like diarrhea in there all day.
Yeah, like people shilling their bags.
Just people, but like a lot of like the really fire trades that I've gotten in, like, because people don't want to take the time, and this is what I think a lot of big accounts fail at, because these big accounts start getting an ego about them and thinking that they're like higher than other people and stuff. Yeah. I've got people tweeting, and it's fucking annoying. Okay, like I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not gonna act like I love it, but at the same time, like when people are tweeting me this shit all day, like I might
pay attention.
Yeah, but I'm paying attention, because you've got to use that. I mean, all these people are out there and they're hearing stuff that you're not, and they're doing research that you're not. And if you don't, take the time to, when somebody at least says, hey bro, check this out, if you don't check it out, at least
you're going to miss.
You're going to miss.
And you'll buy the top.
I mean, 90% of the things that I found, and I've been like, holy shit, this is fire. Like somebody that I've never heard of in my entire life, maybe has 100 followers. Maybe I don't even know his Twitter. Maybe he's mentioning it in the trading pit or something. But he's talked about it, and I've gone and looked it up. And the next thing I know, I'm getting the fucking ledger out, and I'm like, I gotta type in my pen, like like before other people see this.
Stillman, don't I go? I'll like send you guys a message. I'll be like,
I was about to mention that. Yeah, like Xavi and I, we do like most of the FA research, so it frequently happens that somebody showed something to KJ, and then he just tells us, hey, can you guys give me your opinion on that? I looked at it, and it kind of looks interesting. So yeah, definitely.
It always works that way.
Stuff. Like for example, DAG, we were one of the first like bigger accounts talking about that in 2018 after it bottomed out. And that was a dojo member that shielded to us. Like he was like holding a giant bag from the ICO, hadn't lost hope, like, and rightfully so. And he was the guy who told us, hey, check this out, and it was definitely worth it. So
a lot of the coins like these people are fucking working their asses off all day, devouring crypto just like me or you, like maybe even more. So when they're DMing you, like, why would you not pay attention?
You got to pay attention. You gotta listen to what's around you. I mean, you've got to have feelers out everywhere, and I mean, a lot of this market is about being fast.
Gainsey tweet. Like Gainsey tweeted something about how his guy was like, Gainsey, why don't you give me an FF? He's like, and what? Share all the alpha? Like, fuck that. Everybody's got that guy that's like got like 100 followers, and like I'm trying to talk to that guy because it's like, yo, you don't want like all these followers. Just like be low, be behind the scenes, and like have somebody like else like pump your bag for you.
I mean, guys, another rule, like always fill before shill. Yeah. I mean, imagine being right about something and then like,
oh, why would you do that?
Telling everybody about it.
Yeah.
Because you don't have conviction about it. Like you got to have your own conviction to talk about something.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Fill before you shill. If you have conviction, buy it, then talk about it. Because if you talk about it and you're right and you hadn't bought that shit, you're going to be chasing it on the way up, when you could have made money.
I never understood that concept, to be honest.
People will tell me all the time, hey, can you tell us about the next thing you're going to buy before you buy it? I'm like, fuck no. Like, like if you're going to FOMO into shit I buy, like that's the price, the markup is the price you're going to pay for me doing the research instead of you.
Yeah. Even on this stream, like people will ask, I always pay attention on the streams. Like when people are like, look at this coin, because that's the reality. That's like the people that are watching this, let's face it, I'm not, Ivan on tech. I don't have like 40,000 noobs watching me. I think the people that watch this stream are a very higher like level compared to like the normal person who watches a YouTube video in crypto. There are people that really know what's going on. There are people with high net worth in this room right now watching this. So when people within this stream start to suggest coins, I pay even more attention.
I mean, you want to talk
that's
about
a good filter,
straight
actually.
apes, like, some of these crypto YouTube guys have the biggest fucking apes following them. Like, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. Like, so like Ivan got caught up in some shit. Like, I mean, does that shock anybody? Really? Like,
not at all. No.
I think there's gonna be a worse one, but like UTK, that was one that somebody asked me about on the stream. I looked at the chart and like. Did a fucking 10x like real quick. It's beautiful. So we've been going for 45 minutes. Let's
look at some fucking coins.
Let's do some coins. Let's give the people what they want.
Hey guys, if you want coins though, you're not getting fucking shit if you don't start hitting that like button.
Yeah. Nobody likes
we got 190 people in here.
50 likes. Nobody likes it. Nobody likes it.
Come on, guys, hit that fucking like button. Like, come on. We'll talk about coins if we can get to 20 likes.
Yeah, how about that?
5 people have to hit the fucking button, and then we're talking about coins.
Stillman, you want to share your stream and screen? Sorry, get started. I know you have some things prepared.
There we go. Okay, all right. Respect.
Actually, my chart's kind of like hung up. I'm trying to get this fixed.
Let's go to the room while Stillman's getting ready. Rom, can't agree more. This guy is now trying to bait people into crypto, thinking shit will pump forever. I think he's talking about Ivan. ICX, I will like you if you shill track.
Well, I shall track for the longest time, like during the accumulation range, because like I was watching that because I did the ICO, like I was basically the guy that shilled us DEG, because I was like. I did the ICO, so I had that on my radar, and it always was one of the like suit projects, the ICO projects that I thought could go places, and I monitored that, and from the tech side, they always continued the development, and they had a working product.
Dude, that looks like it's gonna go higher. Sorry.
No worries. So basically, I bought a good amount relatively. Early in the accumulation range and just chilled out because I knew, I was very confident it would perform. And it might still flex, like this cycle, as Messiah mentioned, could go on for like a couple months. And yeah, I like it.
Track.
Guys, can I share something really quick? Just
some
quick humor before we get started. I'm literally fucking obsessed with this pasta right now.
Pasta.
Does everybody here know what a pasta is? It's just like a hilarious copy paste meme. It's sure, like KJ, like you work out and shit too. I used to post videos of me flexing or pictures of me flexing and shit. And people would post the nice pics, good size, looking thick, solid, tight.
Yeah.
Like that's
your shit. Yeah.
That's a pasta.
Got it.
So I'm going to share my screen really quick, just because this is my new favorite pasta, and I think it's just absolutely fucking hilarious. Can everybody see my screen here? It's on my Twitter. So when somebody,
sober as pasta.
let me read it. Let me read it. Okay. So somebody posts their food, like on Twitter,
all right,
and it's, dude, I'm going to type as sober as possible. That honestly looks fucking pathetic and disgusting compared to my meal. I'm being 100% serious. Sorry, we don't cook shit that was previously in cans. You're a fucking joke, dude, and I'm dead fucking serious.
That's your favorite, huh?
So the whole point about a pasta is that like it's it originates normally, I mean, with either like a troll or just some like extremely angry dude on the internet.
Yeah.
And people don't realize that it's a joke. So like a lot of people have seen the pasta. A lot of people are in on the joke. So, it gets engagement, people laugh, and, the people that are in on the joke, and the people that aren't are like, they get fucking mad.
They get triggered. They're like, why are you such a dick?
They get their feelings hurt.
So good. I like the one that was like, fucking crypto dog told me to buy, and it's down 50%.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's one of my favorites, sir. Like, this shit is a scam. Like, there's so many good ones. There's so many good ones.
There's so many good ones, but you guys got to be about your pasta. When you see somebody posting food shit, hit them. Go ahead and hit them with that, and see what happens.
Yeah.
Bagsy actually, he told me I hurt his feelings, and I was like, bro, like I was just kidding.
Is he serious when he said that?
No, me and Bagsy are homies. I've actually hung out with him in person before. We got stoned together and got drunk, and we've already had a bonding moment. So
nice.
We were cool. He was just like, dude, I can't believe you would say that to me.
He didn't get it.
No,
Stillman, you in? You ready?
Unfortunately not. I don't know what's up.
Okay. All right.
Let Messiah go first. I don't know why everything is hanging here. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, okay. So one thing, people or Korean Jew earlier said, with great shilling power comes great responsibility. Because people are going to FOMO into what you buy. So it's really important that when you buy something, you're buying something for value, and you're buying something at the bottom. Because, people say, oh, shill track. Well, you know what? Track was probably one of the best fucking shills you could make a month or two ago, but track's already gone up a lot now.
Yeah.
And maybe there's additional upside, but at the same time, there's downside risk that's present now too. And under these market conditions, if I see something that has fucking huge liquidity, has fire as fuck fundamentals, and it is a low cap, there's a good fucking chance that if I'm shilling it close to the bottom. Whereas, if something is already fucking pumped 5x and I shill it, then, maybe I'm going to get fucked and maybe you are too. So that's just something to keep in mind. In terms of like, what I'm in right now, a couple of plays that I'm interested in. One is Degen VC. Degen VC they airdropped 75% of the coins to absolute plebs. So that
was an insane airdrop.
It was an insane airdrop. I mean, at one point, these guys had made like $20,000 from the airdrop. So the big thing with Degen VC is I think it's a great project and I think it's a great idea. Don't fucking long now. Get the fuck out of here. But what you have to do is you're going to have to watch those Ethereum addresses. Nobody's in their right fucking mind is going to mark this up while these guys have so much free money in their pockets. Because we're talking about guys that don't have any buy-in. They're on a free ride that could potentially have weak hands. And they're not releasing a product till, I think, sometime in mid to late September. So the big thing to keep in mind here is that, you're going to need to watch those addresses and you're going to want to buy blood because trust me, it's coming. And when people have free money and especially got the kind of people that would get an airdrop, they're going to see other shit moving and then eventually they're going to get fucking antsy. They're going to get fucking bored and they're going to want to take that money and they're going to want to chase it. So that's something that I'm kind of long-term accumulating. That's on my long-term radar. Another project that I'm looking at is a bot. That's bounce.finance. It's a decentralized auctions protocol by Anchor, ANKR. And a lot of these crowd sales and shit are coming up for it. They just released a new plan, which, a lot of people got upset about, but I think is a better plan. I buy a little bit of that every day. It's super liquid. And the unique thing about bot is that it costs money to actually mine that token. You're fucking cheesing over there, KJ.
I don't know anything about it, but I want to buy the fucking coin now. Just the way Messiah is describing it, it's making me want to buy the coin right now.
That's some quality shilling right
now.
No,
I didn't even listen to what he said. I just heard the ticker. Bot sounds like dot. Messiah's buying it.
Sounds like
dot. Buying it every day.
It's low market cap. Well, it's something I'm very.
This is gonna pump. It's probably gonna pump.
It's gonna fucking go hard. But I'm accumulating very slowly over a very long period of time. But here's the thing, guys. I bought at $900. I bought at $600. I bought at $300.
Wait, it's that expensive of a token? One token is $300.
Yes, it's very low supply.
That's actually relatively common. Like,
is that good again now? Like having
I don't
think anybody gives a fuck now. In the past, it was noobs like cheap coins, but now people just like shit that goes up.
But I remember when low supply was like a big thing too.
Yeah.
That was in 17.
You
People
know what,
were looking for low supply.
Yeah. This is again like much of that narrative. Like everybody's looking at supply right now.
Look at like YFI and shit like that.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that totally like blew the whole low supply meme out of the water. You know, like because people were like, oh, I'm not fucking buying that. And well, look, you know, shit's more expensive than Bitcoin now.
Yeah, look at that.
I mean, shit happens. But I mean, the thing about bot, you know, that's really cool is it's literally like they just released a new auction type that you can like silently. It's like a silent auction. No, I can. And here's the thing. Here's the thing about bot. Guys, like, listen though. I can go to. Let's say I hit up Stillman and I'm like, yo, like I kind of know you, or even if I'm dealing with somebody that I don't, you know, I haven't heard of that doesn't have any kind of reputation, you know, that they could ruin. And I'm like, hey, you know, I want to do an OTC deal with you. Well, you know, well, fuck, like, well, let's go find an escrow, and then you could pay the escrow fee, and the escrow's got to deal with it. On bot, I can just go up and I can throw up the auction, a fixed price auction for my coin, and do the swap with no middleman, which is pretty cool. So anyway, I mean, I'm staking my bot right now. The yield's not great on it, but one of the unique things about bot is that the tokens have a cost to mine. It costs Ethereum gas to mine the token. So that kind of establishes an innate, like inherent, you know, value for the coin. It's like with Bitcoin, if the price of Bitcoin, if it's $6,000 to make one Bitcoin, then you can kind of say that, you know, $6,000 is like an area of interest, you know, and because people had to spend money to produce this coin, unlike some of these other like straight up liquidity mining schemes where, you know, I don't have to spend any money to generate these coins. I have to spend time and opportunity costs to generate these coins. So that's a little different. And then the third thing I'm in that hasn't really moved yet is what's it called? DETS. So I don't really even know much about this.
Somebody mentioned that in chat earlier. Actually, it's back to our point.
It's DEX Trust. It's around the ILO price. The ILO was on LID protocol, you know, which had a really rocky start. But one of the advantages to these ILO projects that start on LID is there's no rug pulls. You know, that's kind of the whole purpose of having your ILO there. You get more interest because people are guaranteed that there's not going to be a rug pull. And liquidity is dripped over a 50-hour period to the market. So the interesting thing about this and is that LID pumped its fucking balls off. I made a shit ton of money on LID.
Same.
Then MYX pumped its fucking balls off. I didn't get in on that because all that fuck up shit, and that's where I got angry with, you know, LID and all that kind of stuff, and I actually parted ways.
But that's also good, right? Like the fact that they can't execute leaves that market open for the next competitor, basically.
No, it does. Well, DGen VC actually kind of fills that gap, and that's why, you know, I'm interested in them. You know, they've got all the contracts are public, and you know, you can go audit them yourselves, and they've got it up on one of the Ethereum testnets right now. But one thing that, without fail, all of the shit that's had anything to do with LID pumps its fucking balls off, and it's hyper liquid. And this is another example of that. And typically what happens is, you know, the price, you know, kind of staggers around and fucks around while these ICO buyers get their tokens, you know, because these guys get their tokens, they're fucking impatient. Fuck, I'm not up 10x instantly, I'm going to sell. And then they fucking go hard with crazy volume. I mean, MYX pumped like fucking crazy. I had guys, some of my friends that put 20 ETH into the ICO, you know, they actually fucking got in somehow, and they pulled out like, I think 100 plus, which it's insane, you know, especially like things like that can be portfolio defining moments, because now all of a sudden, you know, where maybe you had 20 ETH before and, you know, you're just a guy, you know, running around with a fucking cock in his hand, like, you know, where do I put this shit? Now you're a guy that can say, you know, I've got I can have 6 bags that are 20 Ethereum each. And I can, you know, spread this
one bag that's 100 Ethereum.
Yeah, bitch. If you're a huge fucking degen, and you want to go shit, right. All right, if I've got 10 Ethereum now, I'm gonna get a 10x on that, and then I'm gonna take my 100 Ethereum.
Those are the worst tweets ever.
That's the logic. Oh man,
I hate that so much.
Ethereum.
Right.
If I only put all of my net worth into this shitcoin.
Right. I mean, that's what I always say. When people buy these shit coins, they aren't just buying shit coins. This is why people have so much trouble selling, because people can buy all day. Buying's addictive. I mean, fuck, I love getting my ledger out and just getting in, because I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm about to make some money.
Market buying some shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. That's everything on Uniswap is just straight market buying.
Yeah,
It's just
I'm
straight
market
double.
buy this. I'm gonna take this motherfucker's coin.
No,
That was a great Messiah.
Sold me the bottom.
Messiah, that was a great point you made on your stream with ledgers. That was though how you are basically looking for multipliers and you don't care what the coin does afterwards. Like your strategy is just hopping from one to the next
It's the best
and
way.
planting these seeds and then having more seeds for the next round, basically, right? Like
it's about
more
setting
bags.
expectations. People will buy into a coin and they start thinking to themselves, hey, if this is the next Bitcoin, I'm gonna be rich as fuck. And everybody, or hey, I'm gonna buy my wife a car, I'm gonna pay off my student debt. Those are unrealistic expectations, when you get into these literal fucking scams and cash grabs. Like when you get into these, the longer you're exposed to them, the more risk you're going to have. Okay. Because a lot of things can happen. A black swan can happen at any time. The fucking dev dies, or fucking the rug gets pulled, or shit fucking happens, period. So get in, get your fucking 3 to 5x and get the fuck out. And
5x.
after that, fuck that coin.
But that's literally the spirit of this market.
That's the move.
Like
that's
that.
the move.
Yeah.
I always believed in that. You know that.
I mean, so many of these coins are one cycle coins. They're gonna fucking pump and then they're gonna dump, and then there's gonna be butthurt motherfuckers in the
People used to be like, hey, you showed this coin like a month ago. Like, what do you think now? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, I
don't know. What the fuck? I've been out of that coin for fucking 3 weeks, bro. What are you talking about?
Like, fuck that. Like, go in, make your 3 to 5x, and then go to the next
Dev
one.
got arrested. Dev had a stroke.
Juiced it. You got juiced it.
Here's the thing. Like, of course I call certain trades I have trade amplifiers, and what that is that's something that I think that I can get in and out with extremely high velocity. I can get a very quick, maybe 2x, 3x out of. And I've got another trade in mind that I think I can game the timing of it to where I can enter this trade with a double size position and not have that additional risk, because I just use that amplifier. I fucking will bang out that 2-3x, and then I go into something with a longer term potential. When I say longer term potential, like, what the fuck does that mean? Well, I'm talking about like, not a straight up cash grab, which a lot of the shit obviously is, like look at fucking Flow, the pump at $2 and is back to 40 cents now. You're in that good fucking luck,
Secret is one of those that you are in for a bit longer, right?
Yeah. Secret's like a longer term thing. And that's, stuff like Secret, anything that's a protocol. Because here's the thing, like, you've got things, fucking Ethereum is here to stay. Right. Polkadot is here to stay. The longer term positions I have are things that have potential to be an actual like critical part of this whole new world.
Polkadot could end up being what people thought XTZ was going to be.
I think so too. There's definitely a lot more attention, a lot more hype. It's new, it's fresh. People are using it. I mean, Polkadot, here's where Tezos
that ICO is crazy hot. Crazy hype.
Tezos fucked up big time because they didn't accept that Ethereum was the big dog. Polkadot accepted that Ethereum was the big dog, and they built their whole shit to be, compatible and have cross-chain interoperability with Ethereum. So now all of a sudden you've got a situation where you can literally leverage this huge community and this huge user base that already exists for the Ethereum platform and use that to bootstrap your own platform and your own community. I mean, Binance Chain, people are sleeping hard as fuck on Binance Chain because they're doing the same fucking thing. Binance Smart Chain is going to come out in, I think, September, and that shit's going to be hot as fuck. They've already got a big community, but their whole thing is built to be EVM compatible. They're going to be able to interact and, have cross-chain interoperability with the whole Ethereum ecosystem.
Yeah. Can I add something to that?
Oh, go ahead, man.
Because another thing that you're connecting to is this wealth of assets that is present on Ethereum. And Andre from Yearn, he made a great post where somebody asked him, what other protocol would you have built upon if it weren't for Ethereum? And he had that great answer where he said, the main thing that he needs is a wealth of assets. And Ethereum, due to the ICO craze, has that. And it doesn't matter what those assets do. Like, they just need to have some value. They can't need to be traded. And you need that to play around with all the DeFi protocols. Like that wealth of assets, that's like the big thing. So what you point out about Polka, that was one of the like next major steps I had in my head, like to point out today for like DeFi. The next big thing is like DeFi interoperability, like all the protocols connecting to Ethereum and eventually connecting to each other. And that's like, I think, one of the major growth markets that's like up.
No, I think so, 100%. Because, I mean, here's the thing. If you've got this really good cross-chain compatibility and interoperability, maybe Polkadot is the best place to have the next version of Uniswap on. You know, that's going to be a huge hit, you know.
Somewhere that's scaling.
Yeah.
Until
but the bucket of assets are on Ethereum, you know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's going to be the ability to kind of do this DeFi thing on everything. And I'm super bullish on... like, I'm not saying go buy this because you're definitely chasing at this point, but you know, one of my bags is Kin, Kijin's network, and they're one of the Kin, or not one of the Kin, one of the Polkadot DeFi projects that are low cap. Like some of these big like the next YFIs, the next big players are sitting there right in front of your fucking eyes right now, and they're gonna have the ability, or at least have an opportunity, to see massive appreciation. Cream is another thing I'm in. Don't chase it, it's already gone up, but Cream is bringing the entire DeFi scene to fucking Binance chain. And like they're already building out on Binance Smart Chain and all that. It's pretty much fucking guaranteed to get listed on Binance because they're building out this ecosystem for Binance, literally. So you've got to just keep your eyes open for projects that are doing things that improve upon protocols that already have communities and staying power.
Don Bitcoin's asked, you guys don't think ADA is the game? Fuck ADA.
No.
ADA and EOS, they're
bullshit,
not on top of the game. No.
No, you
ADA, EOS, Tezos,
like fucking scams, and then
Tezos is a fucking ghost chain.
Just buy this low cap shit and then sell it for 3 to 5x. This is serious advice now. Like, just it doesn't matter. Just this is the season. It's clearly the season. Like,
I mean, guys, ADA is never going to do fucking jack shit. And let me tell you why. It's just because ADA.
I don't know.
And here's the thing: you can love Charles Hoskinson or hate him. Like he's not a factor in my decision to dislike ADA. I dislike ADA because being the next Ethereum,
throw him out, get him out.
That ship has already fucking sailed. Like being the next Ethereum, that's already fucking sailed. Yeah, I dare you to fucking counter trade me, Master Crypto. Be fucking broke as a joke right now. Over the past 2 months, fuck out of here. So anyway, like we're literally talking like projects that are trying to be the next Ethereum right now when Ethereum's already proven itself to be the next Ethereum. And the projects that have recognized that Ethereum is the next Ethereum, Polkadot and Binance Chain, are going to be the ones with staying power.
That's such a good point. That's such a good point. Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not the fucking next.
You gotta be on the cutting edge. I remember it was like, it's like Neo pumped, then this shit dumped, and it was like everybody's bag holding that, and like they missed out on what was going next. You just have to be ready to pivot to whatever's new and hot. Sorry. And then those people would be like, oh, I did my research on Neo, and like meanwhile it's going down like 70%. It's like, I really believe in this, and then like,
no.
Like,
I believe in this coin.
Yeah, really
the only thing you need to believe in is
you
need to believe in it long enough for you to get your 3 to 5x and be the fuck out of there.
That's it. That's it. Nobody else on YouTube is going to tell you this.
And guys, I've had some crazy ass wins. Like I got a 50x on XAMP. But here's the thing: it's because I was one of the first people to buy XAMP, and that shit was just a freak. Like I didn't expect that. I was looking to take my 3 to 5x and run, but the next time I fucking looked at it, I was like, holy shit, I'm up 50x. Like this is fucking wild. Like it happened in a matter of hours.
That happened, in 6 hours, right?
Yeah, it was literally hours. So I didn't enter with that expectation that was going to happen. But when it did happen, I sold all of my XAMP below 1 cent. I sold some at 1 cent. I sold some at 0.007. I sold some at 0.005. But here's the thing: I didn't give a fuck that shit kept going to 3 cents or whatever. I was fine. I got a 50x. You've got to look at yourself and you've got to say, at a certain period, at a certain point in time, like you need to just be happy and get the fuck out of there. If you don't take your profit off the table, it's not real.
And also, if you don't practice doing that, you will build the habit of not doing it. And that's like I just recently talked to somebody in the dojo who, talked about his experience of holding ICX up like from ICO to 100x and then down to 25 cents again, right? And that's not a scarce story. A lot of people experience that with different assets, of course, but ICX in particular, a lot of people were
it's very common,
like basically virtual millionaires, but they never realized it.
Because here's the thing, I mean, people are always so greedy. If I can just get one more 3x out of this, then I'll be rich as fuck, like, and you don't understand that you're already rich as fuck. Like, you need to take that and figure out, with that money, you need to figure out how to make more money with less risk.
That's the thing about crypto. Sometimes,
how do I not lose
sometimes it doesn't seem real because you're looking at it in terms of value of Bitcoin, and it's like even like hitting like 100 Bitcoin, like it's not the same as having $1 million like in your bank account. You know what I'm saying? Like it just hits different. Like
and also you're still expecting those 100 Bitcoins to appreciate in value if you're like full crypto degen, and that's why you're never fully out of the market because you have this weird idea of that being the future, quote unquote,
right?
And super deadly.
You have dreams. It's hard to sell dreams. It's easy to sell coins, but it's hard to sell dreams. So if you could detach yourself from having dreams about anything and just focus on making money. And the biggest thing I see is, people want to be rich as fuck tomorrow. Like, you don't understand how easy, like, you could get rich as fuck in the next couple of months, but some people don't even have the patience to wait for that. You don't always have to be in that next bag. The most important thing is that you wait for the right opportunity to present itself, because it's going to present itself. And you can be one of two people, when that opportunity happens. You can be that fucking guy that has to be in a fucking trade no matter what. And then as soon as he takes profit, he goes to the next trade and then he takes.
Saw that today from a guy.
Or you can be that guy that says, hey, that was a sick trade. I'm going to take this money that I made. I've got fresh powder now. I'm willing to risk this much of it. And I'm going to wait for that opportunity to come. And then when the right opportunity comes, you can fucking get in on that shit and go.
That's the biggest thing. I see people that win big trades, like for instance, RSR, right? Gets listed on Binance. Clearly, I mean, I know you were a part of that too. We were both talking about this when it was around 27 sats.
Yeah.
And I always had, like, if anybody asked me in 2019, like, what was the coin to bet on for like a 10x, my answer would have been RSR consistently. And I said multiple times, I don't know when it's going to go, but once this bull flag accumulation range breaks out, this market maker is going to go ham on this fucking coin. And as soon as it crosses over 27, and then my level was 41, it's like, you just buy this fucking thing.
Boom.
And from 41 to where it is now is over a 5x. And that happened relatively quickly. Meanwhile, there are other people that held through that whole, I think it was like 7 or 8 months of a downtrend that eventually broke out. But in that time, you could have done something else with that money.
Opportunity cost.
I like to make trades where it's like something's going to happen right away. And if it doesn't, then it's not right. Then I'm wrong. And we move on and we cut our loss and wait to see. And I'm comfortable with buying something higher. But
that's a very undervalued concept.
Yes.
Buying higher.
Because you're wasting
paying
your
for
time.
Confirmation.
But people think you have to buy the bottom and sell the top to make money. And that couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah, I think like, I guess I kind of went off on a tangent, but the point that I was trying to make is that people make like, RSR. So this guy he held the whole time. Now it's finally starting to pay off. Big position, life-changing money, right? So yeah, I'm gonna sell my RSR and I'm gonna buy such and such coin. And I'm like, why don't you just sell the RSR and like buy like US dollar coin? Like chill the fuck out. Like you just made like a huge hit. What are the odds of you winning a huge trade and then immediately entering another trade that's gonna be awesome? Not great. It's not great. Like when you win a 10x, it may seem like this is happening all the time for everybody, but it isn't. And if you've actually realized that gain and you've hit a 10x or
statistically, you are the outlier.
Yeah, you are the outlier. Most people are actually buying your sell. Your sell is being bought by somebody who's about to lose 50% of their net worth, right?
Yep.
For you to win. And this is something that I've experienced personally, be it in stocks or margin trading or whatever. Win a big trade, I'm rushing into the next one. every time you do that, you lose. I just don't do it anymore. When I close a trade, I just kind of, I don't even look at the chart. I walk away. I go spend some time with my family. I go, I go play basketball. I chill for a few days. Then I come back and look at the charts with fresh eyes because I know I'm going to see something that makes sense. And if not, then I'm not going to play. But for the longest time, it was like as soon as I won a trade, I was like rushing to give it back. It's like kind of like you're at a casino. You just, when you win, sometimes you just, if you really want to win, you just got to leave. And then maybe you come back in a few days or a week.
You can't let money get to your fucking head. You know?
Yeah, people win a big trade and they're instantly taking that capital and trying to multiply it again. And I find that that's the biggest mistake, where if they win the trade and then they just wait patiently until they find something that really makes sense, like that's how you truly can multiply your gains as opposed to giving them back.
I totally agree with that. And I just want to talk about, with RSR, and even with REN, I only captured half of those moves. But here's the main thing. Let's say I got a 5x on RSR and a 5x on REN. Okay. Let's say that I held both of them for the 10x because, that was certainly a possibility. Well, that's a 2x from where I sold. Right. Do you think that
you could have found something else that would have given you that same 2x?
And probably in a shorter period of time and with less downside risk, and more upside too. So there's this opportunity cost, to having this mentality that I'm going to stay in this bag for a very long period of time. The longer you're in a bag, the worse off you're going to be. Unless, of course, it's the fucking bear market. Or chain link. I mean, fuck, there's outliers to everything, but I mean, typically that's how things are going to be. And people just don't understand that, like at a certain point in time, is everything cool? I hear baby crying.
Yeah.
You want to run for a second?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to mute myself, see what's going on out there.
Yeah, we can take it. I mean, sure. No, here's the thing. I'm not saying it's the top on RSR or REN because those are both badass bags and badass projects. But at the same time, you need to remember that the higher up something goes, you're accepting the fact that you haven't locked in profit. You're accepting the fact that, what you've made money on can go down and you can, lose some of this unrealized profit as well. So it's a really good idea to try to cycle out of something when you have an outrageous multiplier, which in any market, a 5x is fucking ridiculous, and try to go to something else. Because how often do you guys see a 10x? I mean, that's pretty rare, right? How often do you see a 25x? That's even rare. How often do you see a 100x? Maybe once or twice per season. And the likelihood of you actually being in that bag is super low. So, I mean, you're not that guy. You don't have the next 100x in your bag. Statistics says that. Maybe you think you do, but trust me, you fucking don't. Take your 5x, roll it into a couple more projects. Wait, though. Don't buy them all the next day. And see what fucking happens. Because, if you get one more 5x spread out between, whatever you roll into, you're at a 25x now. And you've already beaten that fucking dude that's still holding that thing that went 5x and is waiting for it to go 25x. You're already ahead of the game.
Something that I started to do again, I started that in January when I felt like some dynamics in the market shifting, was that I told myself, okay, this is the time to keep a moon back again of some stuff. And by selling and by taking profits on the way up, you are creating the fundamentals for yourself to continue to be able to manage that trade like a rational human being would. If you don't, if you just hodl all the way up, at some point you are bound to become irrational on that trade. Like, it might even prevent you of holding through the last legs to the top. Like, you selling some early could actually enable you to live through that whole trade. And that's something that's also overlooked, I think.
Well, I mean, people will sit there and, I have people ask me sometimes like, hey, like, where do you watch your charts all day? And I work from my fucking computer. I have charts up, but I'm doing other shit all day. Normally like research and networking and talking to people. But at the same time, like if you find yourself to where, you're constantly on your phone, refresh. If you're that worried about your fucking position, then you're overexposed, like because you're too worried about the impact of that trade. When the truth is that even, with a small percentage of your portfolio allocated to these Uniswap trades, you can get these 5Xs pretty easily, and you should never be staring at your phone, because even if you have the right, maybe you've got a higher risk tolerance than I do, and you're willing to invest in something that could be a rug pull because you're a fucking DJ and you're a gambler and you don't give a fuck. If I've got my whole stack in something that might be a rug pull, I'm sweating my nuts off the whole time. Like, holy shit, am I about to get rugged? Is this going to happen to me? But if I've got, 5% of my net, crypto net worth in a rug pull, and the rug pull happens, I'm still like, God damn it. Like, that sucks, but it's not like something that's game changing. It doesn't change me at all.
Yeah, it doesn't like alter your chances of making it in the long term that much.
And it doesn't affect my next trade either, because at the same time, I can have a big win, and, if you're not careful, you can let that big win inflate your, sense of confidence and in your next trade. But it can go both ways. If you have a couple of losses, you're going to begin to doubt yourself. One of the most important things here is that, whenever you act, you have to act with conviction. And that conviction has to be consistent, and it can't be something that fluctuates up and down. I've got to be very certain about an entry to a trade to put my money in the line. And I've got to be very certain that, like, this is an L. I'm going to take my money out of here. It's gone. But when you enter a trade, know that it can go either way, and you want to have an edge in the market. Some people definitely do. But, at the end of the day, like I said, even with Plutus DeFi, with the amount of Ethereum I hit that shit with, I'm fucking shocked that it didn't go. But at the same time, like
that also gives you information about that there's something else
something's
wrong with that
going
market,
on,
right?
Something's I fucking hit that shit so hard. And the fact when I looked at that shit and I was gonna hold it and it broke down that last support level, and I just said, fuck, like there's information asymmetry and somebody knows more than me and they're laughing at me.
I played that from very early, from pre-sale. And something I noticed when they were ramping up to because they were on a curve too, right? If I remember correctly.
Right.
And something I noticed was that they were spending all their ammunition to hype up through that curve. And I was suspecting when that happened that there isn't much left. And I think that that was kind of a sign of how they play it. I mean, that doesn't mean that
but I didn't
appreciate much later.
Yeah.
That's that typical information asymmetry, right? Well,
anyway,
it happens. Fuck them. Fuck that trade. I'm glad that I got out unscarred on that one.
I don't know how you feel about this, Stillman, but when I always say never date an ex. When I dump a bag, like, you can't fucking. But I'm not a trader. I'm an investor. I buy value and I sell higher. Very rarely am I taking a setup. For example.
So your distinction here was like a TA trader versus investor, right? Because as an investor, you're a trader too, obviously.
No, of course. So the distinction would be, of course, the chart is important, but the chart is secondary. I want to look for like accumulation patterns and floors and things like that. But when I'm buying something, I'm buying it because I believe there's like unrealized value.
And that there's like a discrepancy in perception in the market that you want to exploit.
Right. And I'm gonna wait for the value to be priced in, and that's how you make money. It just as somebody who's just a predominantly like fundamental based investor. Whereas with a trader, everybody knows like what I think I'm talking about. It's like I see a setup. Like we had this technical breakout. We had it broke up. We had a throwback. We retested this level. Saw our flip. We're gonna go up. We're gonna take the blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like, when I'm getting into these things, it's like with the investor's attitude, a lot of people don't understand that, when there's unrealized value in something, a lot of times, like when it goes lower, there's even more unrealized value. And a lot of times in these Uniswap coins, I've seen things look like absolute trash and then pump. After they end up looking like trash, for a bit. A lot of these things, like with these Uniswap bags, TA doesn't work too well, in my opinion, just because at a $3 million cap with solid liquidity, all it takes is one dude with a big wallet to come in and totally turn things around. Shift the sentiment, fucking make the chart look good, and like
that is definitely the case. Although I gotta take a different position there, because I noticed, especially since we have like ChartX at our disposal, shout out to CryptoShark,
yeah, he's the man.
that a lot of Uniswap pairings have like perfect price action. Like it's like beautiful, and I was actually like surprised on the one hand, because like there's no order book and all that, but on the other hand, it's like it confirms suspicions that I have about like the metaphysics of price that just manifests itself. It's not like this self-fulfilling prophecy that people make TA out to be. Basically, it's like if you have like automated market maker protocols that paint these charts, then that tells me something. So I think that you can do TA on them, but obviously like the stuff that you mentioned, like the low market caps, that plays a role.
There are outliers. These things can just take off.
No,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah,
There are charts that
I agree though.
We've made the charts, quite literally. Like it's always interesting to look back at 2017 and like look at certain coins, and like you look at the chart and it's like.
And you remember what you did that day, and you see it on that chart, basically.
It's like, oh, I am the chart.
Your history, your history.
Like, but like for instance, comp. I think we were live on stream, and this was before it was on Coinbase, I believe, and we were looking at I think Crypto Shark's site and looking at what it was doing, and it was very clear what it was doing at that point, and that it was going to retrace, significantly. This is when it was over $200 for the first time, and from a technical perspective, what I saw there was like, oh, this could be anything. This could be a blue chip stock. It's doing the same thing, and it's fascinating, frankly, that you can see that.
Emotions transcend markets, and when you look at the TA, it's just emotions, on paper. So it's kind of like that. So back to my original point, why never enter? If I dump a bag, I'm never going back.
Oh yeah. I wanted to answer this too. Yeah.
Well, it's only because as an investor, as somebody that buys, unrealized value, if I've taken profit, hopefully it's means that, I've made money. Like if I've exited the position, it's because I've seen some of that value be realized. And while there may be additional unrealized value in the project, it's not as much of a value buy for me anymore. So I'm not interested in re-entering, because I feel like re-entering, is I'm buying at a higher value, and there's more risk to that. If I lose on a project, I don't really re-enter, because I don't want to revenge trade it, and like I'm not going to ever buy Plutus DeFi again, because I'm fucking pissed off about that.
Because your bias is ruined on that. Like you have that additional factor in play that we wouldn't have on anything else. So why don't pick something else out of the?
I feel like that's hurt me in the past. I used to feel that way too, but from like a technical perspective, if something looks good, it looks good. It doesn't matter what it is or what it's done to me in the past. And like I said, like I fell into that too, where I was like, fuck this coin, fuck Wan Chain, I won't buy this shit. It's caused me too much pain. But when you look at it and you understand TA, which you do, there are times where you'll look at something and be like, this is clearly bullish, but your own personal bias based off of what had happened to you in the past won't allow you to press the green button. It's something that I've struggled with, but now I just kind of like, I don't care.
I mean, if you've mastered that, like that's the right way to see it. 100%. Like
a work in progress. I can definitely appreciate. I
can't do that.
Because sometimes you have an emotional thing with this coin, where you may look at it and structure a trade, and if it goes against you, you might stop out early as opposed to where you'd structured it, and then it takes off without you, and you're like, I just can't fucking win with this coin, like fuck this coin. But it's something that I think like we talk about seasons in crypto, right? This is a good one. It's a good season to be around. It's a great season for new money to come in and kind of learn and make some money, of course, as well. But, I've kind of changed my own outlook, where it was like, I remember thinking, and we talked about this off stream, like what December and January of 2017, 18 felt like. And it was kind of like you got to this place where you're like, one more month of this, and like my grandkids won't have to work, like quite literally, you know, and you're thinking about like buying yachts and shit, like just one more month, just give me one more month. And then you're just going to exit and never do it again. And I think like in the past 2-3 years since then, like at least personally, I've looked at trading and crypto, and not just crypto, but as well as stocks and anything, as something that I want to continue to do indefinitely until, you know, I don't want to do it anymore. And when you look at it that way, it's kind of like there's always something to play. There's always going to be something going on. And if you have a handle on what you're looking at, like this becomes sustainable. It's like a lot of people I feel like are looking at the market as like they robbed the bank and, you know, the cops are coming after them and they just got to get away. And, you know, like if you really put the work in and learn your craft and how to do this the right way, there's no real reason why you ever need to stop, you know? So I think like for the people that are new that are looking at coins as like, hey, I'm going to get rich in the next year and then it's going to change my life and I'm not going to, you know, do this anymore. Like, I think if you go in with that attitude, it's going to be hard to hold on to everything you make if you do make it. Some of you won't even make it because you're coming in with such a greedy outlook that, you know, it's going to be tough for you. And you're not going to know when to stop, or you're going to FOMO into the wrong thing and get wiped out early. But
I mean, dude, I'm in groups where, you know, there's guys that are legit ass guys, but they're looking for the next fucking rug, you know, every day, you know, because
yeah,
they're just straight up gambling. I mean, there's no method to the madness. There's no process. There's no emotional control.
yeah,
You know, you've got to be, you've got to have that mindset, you know, about all of this. And you need to understand it. And I mean, what if I came to you and I told you, you know, that, hey, if you play your cards right, you know, if you can just abide by these rules, maybe in 3 months, you might be a millionaire, you know? I mean, is that something that, you know, if knowing that, if you knew that was pretty much a fucking guarantee, you know, do you have the fucking balls to follow the rules? You know, some people can't even do that. You know, it's like I say, you know, when I buy some bags, I buy bags that I just believe are inevitable. Like my dusk position, I'm never gonna fucking sell that shit. I think it's going to the moon. It's super undervalued. They're working on crazy technology. Like that bag to me is inevitable. If I tell you, you know, that hey, all you have to do is hold this fucking bag for as long as it takes to get a fucking 10x on it, and you're gonna be fucking rich. Like, do you have the patience to do that? Can you sit on your hands? You know, can you exercise that emotional control? Can you fucking do something else? Play a video game, get on Netflix, you know, fucking read a book, you know, if that's your thing, you know. But it's so many people just lack like that, the patience. You know, I think being able to just be patient about all this shit, sitting on your hands, having you know, fresh powder is such an underrated skill. Because think about this, like when so many people like see a new opportunity, they're having to sell another bag to get into that opportunity. You know, whereas if you paid yourself, and like I think KJ was saying earlier, hey, why don't you buy a fat stack of US dollar coin? You know, if you had that fat stack of US dollar coin, and you just fucking chilled out for a second, you had that shit, you're ready to rock. Like, you don't have to take your fucking dream inevitable bag off the table. You know, you can take that US dollar coin, you can fucking get in something. I mean, just like that, and not have any kind of like qualms about it or hesitation or, you know, emotional disattachment from your other or whatever, you know.
yeah. Crypto kite trader necessarily. It's not that they can't. Most people don't have the funds to sacrifice. If getting rich was easy, there would be a lot of rich people. No, that's a good point. But
Messi wasn't saying that it
yeah,
was
that's not
easy
what he was
though. He
saying.
literally said it was
Not
difficult.
easy.
Yeah,
It's extremely
it's
hard.
not easy.
Getting rich seems easy, and it's easy in the sense that if I say, hey, in 3 months you're going to be rich as fuck. You know, if you have just $1,000 bankroll in 3 months, you're going to be rich as fuck. You know, relative to how you are right now, if you can just follow these 3 simple rules, right? You'd say, oh yeah, I can do that. But when it comes to managing your emotions, that's where it's not easy. The rules are very simple. The rules are very easy. Following the rules might be the hardest thing you ever do. And for some people, it's impossible. It's just sitting on your hands, not doing anything. You wouldn't imagine that would be so difficult. But it's taken me years to master and years to learn how to cope with that.
I think you made that point at the start of this season, or like very early into it, how in the past, like since you went through several market cycles, you had that bear market PTSD once, and you were actually selling too early in like 2016, 2017 cycle, right, Messi?
It wasn't that it wasn't that I was selling too early, is that I was too afraid to dive headfirst into the new hotness, because I was like one of the last guys to go to Binance. How about that? Because I was still like stuck on, because Poloniex went to shit and everybody was like, yo, we're gonna go to Bittrex. I was still on the whole like, yo, Bittrex is where it's at train. And I realized very late in the game that like actually like I couldn't have been more wrong about that. But I had, I came to that conclusion eventually. And from that I learned I'm never ever again going to be that old dude that's stuck in his fucking ways. I've got to see what the new hotness is, and I've got to get in it as soon as I see it.
I think that's like one of the key takeaways, if you guys take away anything from this, because this is something I always believed in too, is kind of like you got to be in what's on the cutting edge. You got to be in what's new, and you can't be scared to move on to the next thing. If you're sitting there married to what you thought was cool a month ago, and things change and circumstances change, I mean, that's fine. So like, let's say you have something that's quote unquote inevitable that you believe in, like, yeah, hold on to that, let other things pass you. But I mean, you don't want to be 100% all in on that, because you have to leave room for the potential of you being wrong. Maybe you are wrong, maybe it's not inevitable, and maybe dust is a piece of shit. But I'm pretty certain that Messiah doesn't
talking shit about my bags, bro.
No, I'm just using it as an example. But this is the game we play, and if it happens to not be what you expected, you need to leave yourself some room, in that worst case scenario where something unforeseen could happen, or whatever the case may be. It doesn't perform the way you expect, or they get hacked, or they do something stupid, and crazy shit happens in crypto. So to have, like, if you have your entire crypto net worth in one coin because you believe, and you're going to have strong hands and hold on, and for however long it takes for it to make you money, you can miss so much. So I'm not opposed to doing that, but I would just say make sure you do it with an appropriate position size. So you should always have some funds available to participate in whatever is new and shiny. Like, people will tweet shit like, oh, go FOMO into the newest hot UniSwap. When I saw David Goxstein, I commented on it. He's like, go FOMO into UniSwap, and he made some stupid ass comment, and I was like, like, are you really like talking down on UniSwap? Like, what? Like,
that's a butthurt comment.
You're salty. Like, you've been holding.
We saw many of those, like also in regards to DeFi in general.
Yeah, and you saw it in 2017 too. You had constantly people would be like, "Oh, don't FOMO into that," and like the thing does like a 20x.
Yeah, good call, bro.
yeah, and they're just waiting for it to not work out. And it's just like RSR, when it went to 150 and pulled back to 90, everybody was like euphoric because they weren't in it. And they were saying, look, I knew you joined the RSR community, and like all that shit. And like, when you looked at what it did from a technical perspective, it was a perfect retest of the previous structure. And we called it out, like, hey, this is the time to buy RSR again. And you go from 90 sats or wherever it is to, I think me and Messiah were on stream and we were talking about like, hey, this could be the bottom here. It goes from 90 to 250. And we also talked about the potential that clearly this is going to get listed on other exchanges. And it did. So that's a little bit of experience for you. Meanwhile, you have people on Twitter and other places saying, look at the people that are wrecked, as opposed to looking at the opportunity that they're missing. Because
my favorite is something goes to begin with. it goes 10x and then it pulls back 20%, and you know the dude that's been bearish the whole time's like, haha,
I told you so. Yeah,
you're like, hey, dude, like you said, you're a joke. Like, shut up. Like,
that's basically
there's
Tone Base did that.
yeah,
With Bitcoin.
it's ridiculous.
If
There's guys that have missed this whole. I mean, the Bitcoin cycle. There's guys that have missed this whole Uniswap craze.
Peter Brandt and
fucking
shit.
ridiculous.
That's
like, look,
movie.
you didn't make any fucking. You're in an environment where dudes literally have over 10x their entire fucking portfolios in the last 2 or 3 months. And you're sitting there and you're still fucking bearish. And you're coming in and you're tailing around people's success and looking at people's shit that they've gotten like 10x's and shit on, and you're bearish on it. Like, dude, there's 2 things you can do. You can educate yourself and you can be a guy that's talking about his 10x on Twitter, or you can continue to look like a fucking idiot. Like, as smart as you think you look like a damn fool on Twitter. Guys. You know, talking about, oh, I'm bearish on this bag when that shit's up 10x. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. You sound like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, you're salty. So
yeah, salty.
We've been going for an hour and 40 minutes. My son does not want to go to sleep. So I don't think this is going to resolve itself anytime.
Okay, KJ, look, if this is the end, if we gotta go,
this is the end.
We're gonna need you to flex for us, because you know you've been putting in the work. You know, come on, just give us a bicep flex. You know, give us just a single buy. Just give us a single buy, and then there we go.
Oh.
There we go. I want to see it from this angle.
This angle?
Oh, yeah. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you're working with right now. Hey, you got to say something.
I don't know. You got to say the pasta. The pasta.
There you go. Looking thick, solid, tight, nice picks. Thighs. Please keep us updated with all your motivation and blah blah blah.
That's the best pasta.
There we go.
Yeah, no, man. We got to do this again because I think it's a lot of fun, and
yeah, for sure.
You know, it's fucking A. It's like pretty sick crypto. Like, I'm sitting here like laughing, listening to the conversation, and like, it's just like bringing back so many memories, and it's just kind of like this is what it is again. And
it's good times, guys.
For a long time, I wasn't sure it was ever going to be like this again, and we saw it coming, but I'm still kind of in disbelief, like that it's happening.
Here we are.
Here we are, and I agree. I still think we are early.
Guys, that's a fucking scam. I'm not buying that. Like, shut up. Like,
I love those guys, right? Like, as soon as they disappear, we
all this shit's a scam. Like, get with the.
I mean, Messi, seriously, when out season?
Yeah,
Tell me.
Yeah. When is it coming?
Season. Yeah.
Yeah. People are still talking about do you think we'll ever have alt season? And they're like, well,
what are you talking about? Where have you been, dude?
What are you? Yeah, exactly.
But the good part is that we have this season while there's no like high inflow of new money. So that's actually tells us that this is like more sustainable. So
I believe it.
Yep.
There's still guys left to buy our bags. We're very fortunate.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys. Well, if you enjoyed the stream, make sure to hit that like button. Appreciate you. Thank you for coming on, Messi, Stillman.
Had a lot of fun, guys. Thank you.
It was a lot of fun. And I'll see you guys out there.
Messi aping it up.
Yeah.
Release your animal spirits for the bull market.
Come on, KJ. We can't see you, Stillman, but KJ, let's do the ape. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. I know you've been drinking.
ICX does look good, actually, Mr. Chu. Yeah. Asking about ICX. Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. If it breaks out, I think it has mega upside. It's not like you have to be on UniSwap because these coins are doing 10x in like a week, but it's not always there for like liquidity's sake. So, I think it's a good mix. You want to play some mid cap and as well as UniSwap. You don't want to be. For low net worth guys, like I don't have a problem with you like fucking just being on UniSwap and going for it. I think that's cool. I like it. Like if you have like $500 or like $1,000 and you want to make some money that's like going to change your life, like you're going to do it on UniSwap. So definitely learn how to use it. I hope you guys learned something.
Yeah, thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah, take care, everybody.
Much appreciated.